Hello, this is Baron von Richthofen. We're going to watch a replay sent in by a community member. Um, don't exactly remember the name. It has a couple of V's in it. It's Vesca Violette, that's it. So it should be pretty interesting. It's solo queue, I believe. She's playing as Karma. So we take a look at the teams. I'll start with purple since blue's not loading. We have Karma and Caitlyn are going to be bot lane, Malzahar's mid, and Jarvan's top with Amumu. I guess Amumu's... well, they don't have a jungle, so the lanes could really be anything then. Then looking at blue team, we have Evelynn is going to be roaming, Warwick jungling, and then the three solos with Maokai probably bottom, and then Talon mid maybe, and Vladimir top. So it's kind of an unusual setup. You know, I think it's pretty indicative of some low elo games. You can kind of... yeah, the team setup really doesn't matter as much as kind of going out there and being successful at what you're doing and kind of winning the game for yourself. So I think in a lot of situations, people just pick the champions that they know that they're comfortable with, and that's pretty much fine until you get to really close competitive matches when team composition really factors in a lot more. So I'm not exactly sure how the lanes are going to match up, so I won't really talk about it much until we get into the lane situations. Right off the bat, I would say that if blue does their job, they're going to be at a serious advantage, though, because they do have the jungle. Evelynn, as a roamer, if she's done successfully, could be very strong for their team as well, because then they would have three solo lanes and just constant fear of ganks on purple team. However, you also have to consider that because they have two duo lanes as opposed to a solo and a duo, it might be harder for Evelynn to get ganks off, and if Evelynn's not getting ganks, then she's probably going to be behind in farm, and it could be very difficult for blue team because they are could potentially really struggle without Evelynn kind of taking advantage early. Interesting items. Definitely mistakes on Amumu and Jarvan's part. They both got ruby crystals, probably trying to build towards a fast heart of gold. But, excuse me, the fact of the matter is, they have zero lane sustain. They are, any harass that they take, they're basically out of lane already and gonna have to play defensive, won't be able to farm, really not what you want to be seeing. If the enemy is aggressive early, as they should be, then they could basically insta-win the lane. Little bit of an engage coming on down in the spot. Evelynn is popping up, so Jarvan is taking a lot of damage. He will be okay, but he's going to have to recall here, and if he doesn't recall, he's actually going to, if he recalls, he's going to miss some minions. So he'll probably be recalling here. Maybe not. I guess he's just going to go with no lane sustain. So you see, already Jarvan has that ruby crystal, but it's worthless because he's at 350 HP, whereas his standard is around 500. So he's already low health. He doesn't have damage. He doesn't have health regen. So that lane is going to be very difficult. Fortunately, Karma's very strong at holding a lane, clearing creeps and harassing, so she should be okay. Mumu kind of coming in. Okay, I think he was hoping to catch Warwick. Really not the smartest thing. You're not going to really affect Warwick, especially when you don't have any regen and Warwick does. But if Warwick was being careless, I guess he wanted to get a quick kill or something. But basically, when you have a jungler and the enemy doesn't, as a team, you want to farm and just play conservatively. You don't... any kills kind of allow the enemy team to get away with not having a jungler. But if you just play conservatively, farm your lane, do whatever, let your jungler take the experience, and the jungler should be looking to jungle as fast as possible. Most junglers can keep up with or even pass the solo lanes in XP if you do a certain jungling route, and they are grouping up around Warwick. He should have seen them coming, and I think he was going to finish the blue anyway. He does finish the blue, but he should have backed up into the bushes. They flash over, and Warwick is going to die here. That is the first blood. And Amumu getting that blue buff, so definitely poor play there. Need to be a little bit more cognizant of, what's going on around the map. Fortunately for Vlad, Malzahar did not get this blue, but he is taking a lot of damage. Amumu doesn't get the bandage toss, but The really big weakness with Vlad is he's one of the weakest laning champions early. Once he gets a couple of levels, you know, he's one of those unstoppable champions. You can't push out a lane. But you see Evelynn up here, not really going to be able to accomplish much. But if you harass him well, especially with someone like Malzahar, if Malzahar had blue, he should just put on his E on Vlad every chance he gets. And Evelynn's going to take a lot of damage. Hopefully she doesn't run into that trap. She will be okay. She did go invisible and get out. But if Vlad takes too much damage early, then you know he can't be aggressive and farm like he wants to. So he has to just play really defensive early. But generally, as a jungler, when you know the enemy team doesn't have jungles, and as a team, you don't want to ever give them kills, and especially as the jungler, you never want to die as a jungler. So they do have a jungler, but already kind of some poor play. Evelynnn is top. I wouldn't be surprised if Warwick was coming down, because I don't know what Evelynn's thinking. She's trying to be aggressive, and Amood gets the bandage toss. Evelynn's going to take a ton of damage. Evelynn's going to die. She gets out maybe with like less than 50 health. One more hit from Caitlyn would have definitely killed her. Barely getting that invisible off, and really, I think, overestimating her survivability, because Evelynn's invisibility, when you activate it, she doesn't go instantly invisible. She has a slight invisibility spawn time or whatever, and every single time someone attacks you and does damage, it delays that invisibility even further, so people can keep attacking you as Evelynnn and you won't go invisible. So definitely poor play there, almost giving up another kill to this top lane. And kills could definitely really snowball this team very quickly. Now, Amumu is kind of hanging out because he has blue buff, but the fact of the matter is he's been in on one kill already. He has enough gold for his Heart of Gold and buying some health regen. He should have gone back already. He definitely needs to buy items, buy some lane regen, so that he can be aggressive. Right now, he's got to play so passive because he just doesn't have the items to be aggressive. Evelynnn is bottom again. They are doing some damage. Unfortunately, you know, while Evelynnn could potentially get some nice ganks, her team does not have the damage. And Jarvan with the EQ onto Maokai, almost getting him. Maokai does have to flash away. But Evelynn's definitely in a tough situation here. She does get out. She had already queued up her invisibility. But unfortunately, what I was saying is her team, Evelynnn thrives on a team that has high damage and high disables. Their team doesn't have damage or disables. So right now, she's just kind of sit around. And, you know, she runs up to attack people and slow them. And she's like, yeah, this is nice. I got off 100 damage, and then I took 200 myself. So really not much for her to do. Kind of a poor pick unless, you know, you really know what you're doing and you're going to do something special. Though potentially, as the game goes further on, her team will have a lot more damage. And Vladimir flashing on top of Malzahar. Is Malzahar going to go down? He's taking a lot of damage. The ult and the ignite from Vladimir. Malzahar does go down. Vladimir getting very low. Malzahar trying to pick him off. You know, unsuccessfully. They did pop onto Karma. Karma will get out okay. And now Jarvan gets the kill onto Evelynnn. And he does have enough mana for an EQ combo. No, he doesn't, actually. But he does slow him, get a little bit of damage out. He is chasing them down still. He is a little bit faster. He will get out okay. So, an unsuccessful try by Evelynnn to get some damage onto Karma. Really, you know, blue team is really hurting right here. Purple is taking control of all these lanes. Definitely not what you want to be seeing when you have a jungler, is kills all over the place, and for them to be pushing up towers. If we look at CS here, we see that Malzahar is definitely in the lead. Otherwise, it's pretty even, pretty low numbers. Extremely low numbers, actually. Definitely want to be CSing more, but Malzahar does have a little bit of a lead. He does have a Catalyst, so Catalyst will basically, you know, allow him to just stay in lane and keep up with the sustain of Vlad. And Vlad doesn't have a Hex Tech yet, which is, you know, he's definitely behind. He needs that Spell Vamp to kind of control his lane. But Evelynnn, you know, picking the strong ganking champ, but she's going bot lane against Karma and Jarvan, and they have a lot of damage, they have good disables. not much you're going to do against that. If you gank them, then you're probably going to give up kills. Top lane, they've got Talon. You know, he doesn't have a great disable. He's got his slow, he's got a silence, but, you know, not the best disable. He has some decent damage output, but so do Caitlyn, and then Amumu has his stun. He's about to hit level 6 now, so I don't know that I'd want to be ganking top either. And then mid is probably Evelyn's only chance. However, if she's not careful, she ganks mid, Malzahar throws down all of his damage on Evelyn, gets a quick kill, and then walks away. It's hard to see where Evelyn's going to succeed, and then all the rest of the lanes are definitely in weaker positions. We've got Maokai in a 1v2 against Karma and Jarvan, and they are chasing him down. He does use the ultimate and does pick up the kill with the shield from Karma. So, you know, definitely strong there, and they are going to be able to push down this tower. They should aggressively push it down and try and take it. If Evelyn's here, then, you know, who cares? It's Evelyn. But regardless, you know, take that tower, continue pushing the lead. Caitlyn will recall top, and Amumu did recall he bought a Philo Stone, which is not a bad decision. I just don't understand why you would want a Ruby Crystal as your first item if you're going to buy a Philo Stone as opposed to Heart of Gold. I mean, I don't understand Ruby Crystal regardless, but definitely even less so. You see, Jarvan actually wanted a fast phage, so I don't know. It will give him a slow, but they've already got some nice disables and burst damage. It's really not going to help him that much. And here comes Warwick. He ults on top of Amumu, but Amumu should be okay. He does flash out. He's got plenty of health. They are throwing damage back, so nothing really accomplished here. They're going to just continue laning. Maokai is on top of Jarvan. Evelyn's still bot here, so she's probably going to be looking to pop out, but she's maybe a little concerned, you know, because they really don't have any damage. And you see, Evelyn actually doesn't have any mana either. So, unfortunately, Jarvan missing the EQ combo, but Maokai, a little bit careless there, jumps in on Jarvan, and Karma is able to pick up the kill with the shield. Malzahar is coming up top. Honestly, there's really no point to this. As a solo lane, if there's no one against you, farm, push your tower. Malzahar is fortunate here that he might get a kill. Forward blocking. Malzahar getting off his ult. He should have ulted when he was on top of the pool. He is able to pick up the kill there. Not able to pick up the second one. But, you know, the top lane's already winning as is. You don't have anyone against you. Farm mid, push the tower. It's really, generally speaking, a lot more worth your time than running around trying to get kills on other lanes. Vladimir doing the same thing, actually. Vladimir's way behind at this point in the game. He doesn't have Hex Tech, he doesn't have any damage items, so he really needs to be farming, and instead he's decided, I want to come down and gank bottom. Well, not only is bottom too strong where you probably wouldn't want to be ganking them, they've also got the creep wave pushing into the tower, so, you know, you have no opportunity. And so instead of farming mid, potentially, or doing some damage to the tower, he's just kind of wasting his time, really not taking advantage of opportunities to get himself farmed. And really, farming is the #1 thing. Kills, towers, dragon, the entire point of any of those things is to get farmed. So, if you're not going to be getting, you know, free kills and or whatnot, take the CS in your lane and push the tower, because, you know, that's the easiest, most effective way to get farmed. Evelyn diving on Amumu underneath the tower. He is taking a lot of damage. Evelyn maybe gets out, and Amumu does go down. Talon's very low. Talon does go down. Evelyn barely getting out herself. I don't know if that 274 is accurate or if she was closer to dying, but I'm not so sure that I agree with that gank. I mean, I guess they know they're behind, and any kills on Evelyn will help her snowball, but definitely, you know, not the smartest decision. But they did pick up the Amumu kill. Evelyn's going to take a ton of damage. The silence goes off. She did get her invis off, so Malzahar did burn his flash and wasn't able to get in range fast enough. And as a result of coming top, you know, for an Evelyn kill, you know Evelyn's going to go invisible. He basically just let his tower take damage. He missed out on a creep wave, maybe a second creep wave even. So you know, really no point in that